Welcome back everybody, my name's Nick930, and rather than the typical Tuesday review, we're actually going to take a look at a free-to-play demo for a fan-made Tomb Raider 2 remake called Dagger of Xian. I've been meaning to try this one out since I first discovered it a few months ago, but just haven't had the time. But with the holiday season finally winding down and games also slowing down, I decided to take some time to play through this, and I'm actually pretty impressed. Dagger of Xian is a non-profit remake of the original Tomb Raider 2 game from the 90s. And according to the developers, they plan on creating the entire game from the ground up using the Unreal 4 engine. Now, those of you that played Tomb Raider Anniversary back in 2007 may have noticed that this game is a lot like that, and that's because it's using pretty much the same exact animations, models, and even sound effects. But that doesn't mean it looks like a game from 2007. The game's actual environmental design is really impressive thanks to Unreal Engine 4. Caves, rocks, and huge open vistas look amazing and dwarf anything from the original game, or even Tomb Raider Anniversary. This demo even has some cutscenes built in that feel really well made despite the lack of a true voice actor for Lara, and the overall design of the game world feels faithful to the style of Tomb Raider Anniversary, where everything is based on the original game but still is given an extra layer of depth to make it fresh and new. Now here's where we start to run into a few issues though. The first thing I did notice right away is that the pathing simply isn't clear enough for players. A lot of the platforming segments require you to climb on ledges and rocks that aren't clearly indicated with markers like other modern platformer games. Games like Uncharted or Rise of the Tomb Raider make climbable ledges clear to the player by changing the coloration so that they stand out from the natural environment. It's fine that the developers here wanted to make the game more realistic and challenging, but unless you're going to make every ledge that appears climbable actually climbable, this simply won't work. There were several instances where I guessed whether or not I could grab a ledge and ended up falling to my death. This is obviously still an unfinished demo, but hopefully before this developer continues the project, they'll decide to make their platforming segments more obvious. There's also an issue with enemy placement, especially the tigers in this valley scene. I love how they jump out and surprise the player, that's great, but the distance just isn't measured correctly, so it's nearly impossible for a player to avoid the first attack after being surprised. They should look at pushing the tigers further back into the woods so that the new players have a chance to respond and jump out of the way before the tiger tackles them. The scene with the spiders was also really cool, and I liked how they didn't immediately attack Lara like they do in the original game. But it also wasn't obvious when I climbed into this shaft that I needed to shoot the mummified body in order to activate an event. Maybe make it so you just need to pick up the key and then all the spiders jump out at you. And then finally we get to the last puzzle room in the demo, which I felt worked really well. Again, ledges need to be highlighted more clearly with chalky edge or something, so that we know that you can climb on them. But I was genuinely stumped for a few minutes until finally figuring out what I needed to do, and I'd love to see more puzzles like this that are actually challenging. Now in terms of graphics and performance, this demo looks phenomenal and runs perfectly fine with everything cranked up. I think the lighting from the flare could still use some work, but everything else felt very fluid and polished. This demo also includes its own soundtrack with music inspired from the original game, and it sounds beautiful, and I can't believe they actually managed to pull it off in just the demo alone. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this project progress, and I hope it doesn't just sit here at this point. There's not very much on their Facebook page or their actual website page, but it seems like they have a good base point to work from. I mean, using the animations and the models from Tomb Raider Anniversary, and then also having the original Tomb Raider game to go off of, they might actually have a chance to finish this. Here's hoping they don't get a cease and desist from Crystal Dynamics or Square Enix. Now I hope you guys enjoyed this first look, and check out the link in the description to try this out for yourself. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.